well, you are going to start your studies for different curricula. The common denominator between them is, well, they are all located, established within the Faculty of Law, Administration and Economics. Another common denominator would be the language. So this is also the reason for us not to rely on the Polish language, but as you are going to study in English, this ceremony is also conducted in English. The official name of this ceremony from Latin is called Immatrykulacj. You are going to become the students of this faculty, of this university, University of Wrocław, but basically you are going also to receive, the status of the student and, well, the associated number. This may sound pretty technical in a way, but also shows the growing number of students, growing number of members of the community. Yesterday, some of you hopefully might have had the chance to listen to the official general ceremony. One of the vice rectors, when starting the ceremony in this most beautiful lecture hall of the university, in the old Aula Leopoldina, named after the Emperor Leopold I, the founder of the university, mentioned that once you become a member of this community, of this university, of this universitas or openness, you are going to stay there forever. The vice rector made a pretty funny, I believe, comparison between becoming a member of this community, university community, on one hand, and on the other hand, comparing this to the marital status. When concluding this second type of relation, it may be revoked, it may be annulled. Whereas, becoming a member of this university is going to be a lifetime relation. We may hope that, this relation is going to provide you or to provide us with mutual satisfaction, so that, today, when you start the journey, when you start your studies, then in the course of the semesters to follow, you are going to absolve different examina and other requirements. At the end, you are going to graduate. But the relation, the link with the University of Wrocław is not going to end there or then. You are going to be the perhaps former student of the University of Wrocław forever. We may hope that this is going to be a satisfactory relationship, that it brings joy, satisfaction to you. Now, this ceremony is going to grant you the status of the student, and you may become the student of the University of Wrocław after making an oath, which is going to be first read aloud by Professor Patrycja Zawadzka, Vice Dean of this faculty, and after making this vow, you are going to become a student of the University of Wrocław. What happens next, after this most important element of this ceremony? We've done with us, thank you very much once again, Professor Agnieszka Frąckowiak-Adamska, who is going to give the inaugural speech. Or lecture, if you prefer. We are not going to overwhelm you with a full-length presentation. Yeah, I had the chance to hear some rumors on what the topic is going to be. I hope, well, after a decade or two, or even more, you may still recall of those words by Professor Agnieszka Frąckowiak-Adamowska. And well, the studying process at the University of Wrocław is not going to be all the time solar. So well, the last part, unfortunately, without our presence, is going to be conducted by the ladies of the student service office, who are going to offer to you with the hints on how to organize your stay and what other procedural steps to follow in order to make your studies not only enjoyable but also acceptable from this formal perspective. Now I'll be asking you to stand up. And Professor Zawarska is going to start the debate.
Thank you so much for doing. So I would like you to repeat those words. In my capacity as a student of the University of Wrocław, I do hereby vow to acquire knowledge and skills, behave in accordance with the law, traditions, and good academic customs, preserve the good name of the University of Wrocław, and be on guard of student dignity.
Congratulations. From this moment on, you can consider yourself fully fledged students of the University of Wrocław. Once again, warm congratulations on that. And now I will give the floor to Professor Frąckowiak-Adamowska. You may sit.
Dear students, chers étudiants, liebe studenty, queridos estudiantes, cari studenti, szanowni studenci, and servili orangici. We meet here today because each of you had made a brave decision to study in another country or in another language. Today you start a new chapter in your lives. A question is how to use the time that you spent at the University of Wrocław. Today it's a good moment to make this decision, how this chapter of your life will look like. I will present you 5 recommendations which you can take into account if you find them useful. Let me start from the most general one to the most specific one. The first is be faithful to values and yourself. As you study at the Faculty of Law, Administration and Economics, please remember about the fidelity to values of democracy, rule of law, and human rights. The state of the world in which we live is not optimistic. We observe a decline of democracy over the past decade. It is documented by a renowned Swedish institute, FAUDEM, which involves over 3,000 experts and analyzes data sets on 202 countries from the French Revolution until today from the perspective of democracy. And according to its Democracy Report 2022, the level of democracy enjoyed by the average global citizen in 2021 is down to 1989 level. It means that the last 30 years of democratic advances are now eradicated. Dictatorships are on the rise and harbor 70% of world's population. It means 5.4 billion people. 6 out of 27 EU member states are now autocratizing. And unfortunately, the state which does it in the most, with the most speed is Poland. Judiciary reform in Poland had been declared incompatible with the European Convention of Human Rights and EU law. And the Court of Justice in 2021 fined Poland 1 million euros a day for them. Today it's over 200 million euros. What is even worse, a war is ongoing in Europe. President Putin ordered a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, an independent country led by an elected government. So it is important, especially today, that everyone be responsible for protecting and promoting democracy, rule of law, and human rights. And start with the simplest thing. Read newspapers, vote in elections, be interested in other cultures, respect your colleagues and the diversity of cultures. And fidelity to universal values is important, but equally important is to be faithful to yourself. It's the only way to be happy in the future. We live in times of significant changes, climate changes, development of an artificial intelligence, social tensions and revolutions, and no one can be sure how the world will look like tomorrow. So find out what is important for you and follow your path. How do you know what is important for you? You try different things and see what suits you. And perhaps Winston Churchill's quotation can be helpful. Never give up on something that you can't go a day without thinking about. And with this, we can pass to the second advice. The second advice is work hard. You have chosen to use your time and money to study here, to study BBA, LLM, IO, MEE, or CJ. And you certainly want to be successful with your studies. But good grades, good bachelor or master thesis, but also knowledge of languages, of mastery in martial arts, they all have something in common. They are not magical gifts, they are not obtained by chance, but they are gained by hard work. So please treat your studies seriously, enroll to the library, plan fixed hours to study every week since the beginning, take notes, be active, and work hard. And the luck will come to you. As Thomas Jefferson, third president of the United States, said, I find that the harder I work, the more luck I seem to have. So to sum up, please remember that the only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. Third advice is make friends. Thanks to your study, you have the opportunity to know people from all over the world. One of the groups that I taught on the LLM studies consisted of students of 14 different countries, only one small group of 25 people, and we had students from 13 different countries. It's an incredible richness, but often students just do not know each other in the group. And during the pandemic, getting to know each other was almost impossible. But you are very lucky, as it seems that it's over, and we will have the privilege of meeting in person. So please use the opportunity to go out after the classes, meet regularly, help each other, especially that you are in Wrocław, which has as its motto, the meeting place. In 2018, Wrocław was awarded a European Best Destination title, and according to Financial Times Global Cities of the Future, Wrocław is on the 15th place in the world, and the first one in the mid-small cities category. You can imagine you are in the best mid and small city in the world, according to Financial Times. So please visit it and do it together with your friends. Fourth advice is learn Polish. You will spend in Poland at least 2 years. It's enough time to learn Polish, to speak Polish. As Czech proverb says, you live a new life for every language you speak. So thanks to language, you will better understand our culture and specific national traits of character. The history of our state is not easy, and our characters are sometimes neither. Poland did not exist as a state during 132 years, between 1795 and 1918. So it was partitioned by neighboring states. To survive, we have developed a particular sense of resistance. After the Second World War, the shadow of communism covered the Polish landscape for over 40 years. Again, we cultivate the resistance. It resulted in the peaceful fall of communism, which took place in 1989. Timothy Snyder called it Polish Revolution and argues that this event was even more important than the fall of Berlin Wall. And during the next 30 years, Poland developed very quickly. The Polish GDP increased sevenfold since 1989. We joined Council of Europe in 1993, NATO in 1999, and European Union in 2004. And Poland is now the 5th biggest EU member state. So learn Polish and you will gain an additional fascinating life. And the last advice, but not the least, please read at least one book of Olga Tokarczuk. Olga Tokarczuk is the first Polish female prose writer which was awarded Nobel Prize in Literature. In 2019, she was awarded the 2018 Nobel Prize because of some scandals in the academy. Nobel Prize for 2018 was awarded 1 year later, but she was awarded it for a narrative imagination that with encyclopedic passion represents the crossing of boundaries as a form of life. Her works have been translated into almost 40 languages, making her one of the most translated contemporary Polish writers. But since June 2022, she is a doctor honoris causa of our university, thus a member of our big family, our big community. And please took the opportunity to read at least one her book. You can start with Bieguni. In English, it's translated as Flights, which received in 2018 Man Booker International Prize. Or you can ambitiously choose the books of Jacob, regarded as her opus magnum, which were released in the United Kingdom in last year after 7 years of translation work. In March this year, it was also nominated to the Man Booker International Prize. And I hope that the time spent at the University of Wrocław will be a beautiful chapter in the book of your life. I wish you the best luck in your studies.
Thank you very much, Professor. Well, I hope we may hope that the whole studying period at the University of Wrocław is going to be as wise and is going to run as smoothly as well as her lecture. Well, as mentioned, memory is sometimes playing tricks with our results, but we may hope that those words are going to remain with you. Before going to the technical side, well, I've got the pleasure and honor to welcome here to the podium Dr. Dobromila Nowicka, who is the rector's representative for security and anti-discrimination. So, well, please also listen to her with us.
We just disconnect this one. Okay. Just a minute, please. My name is Dobromila Nowicka, and I am a Dean's representative for equal treatment and anti-discrimination in our faculty. Today, I would like to briefly introduce you to our system of protection of our academic community members against discrimination, unequal treatment, and other risks to one's safety that can, although I hope will not occur. Okay, this is better now. Okay, we decided, I have some problems. Yeah. We decided to name some basic rules you are expected to follow now being a part of our academic community, as there can be no gaining knowledge and experience if you do not feel safe in a very broad meaning of that word. So we do not tolerate any form of discrimination, unequal treatment, hate speech, or harassment. However, I would like to stress that we do respect freedom of speech. We promote free academic discussion, presenting your standpoints and views, but please do remember that using freedom of speech cannot get the form of hurting someone's dignity. It needs to be built on respect towards other people and other views. I would like to provide you with email addresses of my colleague whose task, his absence today, is to assist you in cases of endangered safety. It is Jan Gola, And mine, in case of discrimination, I have no place to write it down, but I hope you're going to manage to find those email addresses. So my task is to protect you against and help in cases of discrimination and unequal treatment, my colleagues in cases of endangered safety. As most times we act as a team, in practice you can address either of us if you need help, and we'll try to do our best to assist you. Here you've got a chart of two networks, that is one for equality and anti-discrimination and one focused on safety of students and PhD students, which together build a network of equality and safety. We cooperate strictly together both within faculty and within our original networks with Ombudswoman and the Rector's representative. Apart from our joint network, there's Psychological Consultation Center led by Dr. Alina Czapiga, providing therapeutic help in cases of psychological crisis, but also supporting those who would like to improve their, for example, social relations or are just interested in coaching. Moreover, the university provides a wide range of help, including possibility to rent equipment, get support from assistants, and many, many others. It is just enough to contact section for students and PhD students with disabilities. Here you also have an information about the chair of the Committee for Equal Treatment, who you may contact for initiating a formal procedure in case of discrimination. If you needed legal aid, please remember about University Legal Clinic at our faculty, whose goal is to provide legal advice free of charge. If you decide to contact them, students, under the supervision of scholars, would work on your case. And last but definitely not least, please do remember about Student Ombudsman, who acts within students' government body and would support you in any other crisis. Back to the main goal for which I am here today, I would like to say a few words about discrimination itself. As we understand discrimination as such a behavior that results in different, of course in negative ways, so unfair, unjust treatment of individuals in similar situations, which is based on some specific features of those individuals. There is no close list of these features, but they can concern, for example, the individual's sex, race, skin color, origin, language, religion, beliefs, wealth, disability, age, orientation, sexual identity. Please remember that discrimination can take various forms like comments, jokes, insults, gestures, or rumors, also spread on the internet. If you need support, it is enough to contact us to get a detailed information on procedures you may follow if you are not sure which one to choose. In case of following the informal procedure, your case will be managed by Ombudswoman or Dean's representative for equal treatment, that is me. In the formal, by the Committee for Equal Treatment. To start the informal procedure, it is enough to send an email to the Ombudswoman or directly to me, in which you describe the situation you find discriminating. We guarantee full confidentiality from the start. We also protect anonymity of those persons who witnessed violation of university's values and decided to contact us but are afraid of possible consequences they may encounter as a result. If an individual is directly endangered or the situation needs immediate intervention, we can also recommend interim measures depending on a case. Within informal procedure, we use various mechanisms of restorative justice, which can bring a solution tailored to a case. It may be a settlement between parties, it may be also recommendation of initiation of disciplinary proceedings. Until the end of informal procedure, you can also change your mind and start a formal complaint procedure. In such a case, you need to submit a formal application to Committee for Equal Treatment at our university. The committee may confirm the violation of standards and, in result, refer the case to the rector to initiate disciplinary proceedings. Should you have any questions, please contact me via email, MS Teams, or in person. And thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nowicka. Well, I believe this is extremely important what we have heard from you. And now, after having heard this important message, we are going to leave you in the best hands. In in the best sense of this model data user and this data matrix, well, who are going to inform you on the technicalities of well, study. Thank you very much for your attention. Enjoy the studies of the university.
Okay, so do you have any organizational questions for us? We are working in student service office and student administration. So basically, you will have most likely day-to-day contact with us. If you want to take care of some questions, if you have any doubts, and you can contact us. We can make the coordination for the program. So if the first person you need to contact, if there's any problem. Any questions? Okay, so basically we